What's going on today, YouTube? I'm Wayne. This is Wayne's Fish World. Today I want to talk about two topics that's really big. One is going to be bigger tanks are fading away, and it absolutely kills me to see that. Nano tanks are where it's at today, and I think the BioCube really took the building blocks of that, and now that trend is tumbling like a snowball effect downhill. Nano tanks are where it's at today, and it just kills me. We're going to touch up on that in a little longer. But first of all, I want to talk about a little back history with the 55-gallon tank. Alright, today is January 30th. Yesterday was my birthday. Yesterday, me and my girlfriend went out and tried to do stuff. Long story short, let's just say a lot of obstacles came up, and it was a big inconvenience throughout the entire day after I got off work. And it was nobody's fault. It was just one of those days where nothing goes according to plan. And, you know, today I wanted to go out and eat yesterday at my favorite restaurant, and we had a plan that I was going to pick up my fish. I was going to let her buy me a fish, maybe a maroon clown, because of the story behind that. And I was going to pick my order up, which was a Moorish idol. Now, before you start bitching about having a Moorish idol in a 55-gallon tank, remember the few videos back where I said I had a plan on having a bigger system? I might be building a 6-foot by 8-foot or 8-foot by 4-foot saltwater pond, so I don't think it's any problem for Moorish idol's swimming room. So, I'm not going to talk too much Moorish idol in this video. Calm your horses. Let's get back to the topic. But yesterday we went in there, I saw what they got, and they had a maroon clown, and they had a yellow belly hippo tank that I really liked. I told her, you know, you really ain't got to spend that money on a fish. For me, I felt kind of bad, but she went ahead and did it anyway since it's my birthday, and I mean, that's awesome. I feel kind of bad for making her spend the money, but hey, it's cool. Then I went in there today, and I didn't know they had it in yesterday with the shipment, but they had Tabolt's damsel. Now, Tabolt's damsel I had back for Hurricane Irene and for the power outage and crashed my system. If you don't know, this is how my how my system crashed. And I'm going to tell you with the maroon clown, because he lived through it all. The first year me and my girlfriend started dating, we went to Petco in Maryland. We're down here in Virginia. I picked up a royal damsel, which actually nips at corals, so that's why I never kept corals in 55 where it was on the upper floor. And the maroon clownfish, I picked him up, he was like this big, and he died when he was about this big. It really broke my heart, because I had him for 5 years, and that was our fish. She named it and everything. So, today, I got another maroon clownfish, and I got a hippo tank, and then I bought myself a Tabolt's damsel. Now that maroon clownfish lived through 2 power outages with a hurricane, a pump over smoking. Now this is the saddest fish story I've ever heard in my life. When the pump smoked, I took the fish out of the 20-gallon they were in and moved them back into the 55. I had them in a 5-gallon bucket with a heater, a pump, and an air stone just to keep them going. Well, the heater overheated and had the temperature over 100 degrees. The royal damsel didn't make it with the maroon clown. The saddest fish story I saw ever. When the royal damsel was dying, I bought them in the same tank, same bag, brought them home in. They were buddies. When the fish died, the maroon clownfish was trying to push him back up like, don't die, man. It was his buddy. And when the fish died, the maroon clownfish would not leave its side. It wouldn't let anything touch it. When I put my hand there, it tried to attack me. I was like, holy crap, I've never seen compassion for a fish to another fish like that. It was insane. And like I said, that maroon clown had a really soft spot for me. I could pet him. I could feed him by hand. He knew his name, believe it or not. He was a very smart fish. He was with me, and he lived through 2 power outages, through a hurricane, a pump smoking water, a heater overheating over 100 degrees, but he could not live through that chemistry of the salt. When I mixed that new salt water and poured it back into the tank, whatever imbalance it was, he could not live through that, which, you know, it killed me. So she got me another maroon clown. And I'm about to put him in the tank right now. I'll show you guys what I got. We'll put the Tabolt's damsel in first because he's the hardiest. And you guys can see, I kind of ran out of drip tubes, so I just activated the Tabolt's damsel the old school way. Now, remember, you don't want to get any of that old fish store water in the tank. And I like using my hands more than using a net because I think it's just better, especially for the fish like the maroon. because they've got spikes. Let me empty some of this water over a trash can real quick. But the maroon clownfish have spikes on their gills, and you know that will get caught in a net. And same with the some of the tangs with their scalpel on their tail fins. Now I know the light should be out, and I'm just doing this for video purposes. You don't want to force the little fish, but you just want to guide him in there. There he goes. You want to find his hiding spot. He'll come out within maybe a couple hours to 3 days. Being a damsel, it probably won't be that long. I'm going to go ahead and stop the siphon. I went ahead and opened the valve up all the way. I actually keep my drip line on a little mount underneath the stand. That way I always know where it's at. Now this is the maroon clownfish in a little bucket I actually bought to acclimate the fish in. So go ahead and pick them up, nice and easy. I'm going to let the fish swim out of my hand. I'm not going to force it. There he goes. And I think this was a tank-bred maroon clownfish, which I'm all about tank-bred fish. Now, my favorite one. I turned the tubing on my frost hand reactor and turned down the valve. That way I could drip acclimate my hippo tank. Now I'm about to introduce the hippo. Be very careful with this one. This is actually the yellow belly hippo tank. Beautiful fish, beautiful fish. Beautiful fish. Now these fish are going to come out when they feel comfortable. I should turn the lights off. Like I said, it's video purposes. When you're introducing saltwater fish, you always want to introduce more than one. That way, if you've got bigger fish in there or existing fish with territories, they're not going to get beat up. Now, obviously, they're not going to get beat up by a royal brahma and a blue-green reef cronus, but it's the same concept. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, for video purposes, I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights out just for the fish to feel a little safer. I'm going to go ahead and unplug them, and I'll turn them back on in the morning when the timer is supposed to come on. I'll leave the lights on so you guys can see. So let's talk about bigger tanks are actually dying from the community, and it breaks my heart. Guys, I don't like seeing fish in small tanks. Now, you probably said, why are you putting the yellow belly hippo tank in a 55-gallon tank? Well, I've got a video coming up on tanks, and I was actually going to make it a week after my tank crashed, but all my fish died, and I didn't have any tanks to show. I'm also going to be getting a yellow Hawaiian tank, which is my favorite fish, for my birthday from my parents, and that's pretty cool. And I'll do the video when I get the yellow Hawaiian tank. But I'm going to do a video on what tanks can go in what size tanks. Now, obviously, a full-grown hippo tank cannot survive, or it can survive, but it's not going to survive happily in a 4-foot-long tank. Long story short, I've seen a hippo in a 20-gallon tank, and it got bigger than my hand. The people actually returned it from the pet store they bought it from, which is my local fish store. But nano tanks, they're pretty to look at, guys, but it's not going to stay stable. You're limited on what you can do, and you really can't put any fish in there besides a beta, a few nano fish like some neon gobies maybe, or just a coral reef tank or a planet tank with some fry. Other than that, you're limited. Sure, you can put some guppies in there or a few platies, but you really can't get an ecosystem going. I'm all about bigger tanks. Guys, I'd say for freshwater, you're going to want to keep it over 29 gallons, or start off with 29 gallons. With the saltwater, if you're new, I'd start off at 55 gallons. The bigger you go, the better. But remember, when it gets too big, like 125 and plus, sometimes the maintenance can be more. I know it can be on cruise control, but what I mean by that is you're going to be kind of lazy with your husbandry. So guys, please, the nano tanks are nice, but if it was me, I wouldn't get them. I would support the larger tanks, or the mid-sized tanks, 29 to 50, 75 to 90. Guys, tell me what you think on nano tanks. I'm actually going to be doing a video on one very soon. And leave your comments and stuff below, guys. Tell me what you think about adding a new fish. I actually see the yellow belly hippo tank right there. And I know they're eating because guess what? When I walked in the local fish store, Sandra had the owner's wife, well actually now the owner's mother because the son's actually in charge now. But long story short, Sandra was about to feed him Brian, and she said, hey, you want to feed him? I said, sure. I went ahead and fed him with saltwater tanks, and the hippo tank went automatically to the food, so that's a good sign. If you have a fish that's going to the food instantly, you know it's going to live. It's a healthy fish. Comment, rate, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Later.